Hi, Elaine. I'm glad you're feeling better. I want to commend everyone on Nancy. I was, on last Friday, that was a rigorous class and you all did really well with it. So you should acknowledge that. All right. So just find a comfortable, stable seat. Always remember you can lie down. It's appropriate. Many times it's appropriate to just lie on your back with bent legs. It's also appropriate not always to close the eyes. For people who have a lot of anxiety, closing the eyes is actually not helpful. Just the eyes can be partially open and it's a soft gaze through the eyes. And then bring the hands to the roots of the thighs, because today we're working on the spine. And if the hands drift toward the knees, you don't get that clarity in your upper spine. And we'll spend the first few postures working on bringing clarity to that spine area. Now, actually, I said if you wanted to close your eyes, you can, but I'm going to put my hands behind my back in Paschimottanasana Namaskar, which we'll probably do later, and I can palpate my spine. Don't worry if you can't do that. You can just bring your hand to the level of the waist and walk it up any amount. But sometimes when you sit and call your attention to that you can palpate it with your fingers. If that's helpful, then do so. The other thing, especially if you have a shoulder issue, in which Paschimottanasana Namaskar would be somewhat contraindicated, is then to take the arms out and then turn the palms up. Find the shoulder blades flat on the back, so they're moving now into the median line known as the spine, and then where we began, placing the hands on the roots of the thighs. Relax the palms, and then your option to close or soft gaze of the eyes. If you do close the eyes, be mindful of not dropping the chest, because that's the tendency. As soon as the eyes shut, we collapse the chest. And just sitting upright in this dignified, noble posture, allowing yourself to feel the sensations of sitting, be it the feet on the floor, if you're in a chair, the back and head on the floor if you were lying down, or simply the buttock bones in contact with the surface. And then let the mental energy descend. I was in a meditation class this morning, and the teacher, Zinat Potier, was talking about the cooling energy. The mind gets heated, it gets alert, it gets caught up in agitation of thoughts and mind. And see if you can cool the mind. But feel the lift from the base. And then if you like, you can sense that the two meet in the middle and expand the breath from the center outwards. So the nervous system can get particularly activated in times like these, especially if you've been reading the news. See if you can cool the central nervous system. We actually in yoga have cooling breaths. Brahmari, those of you who know Brahmari is one of the major cooling breaths, where you basically hum like a bumblebee. Let the nervous system cool down, but keep that dignified lift of the chest. See if once again, you can bring your mind to the central vertebral column known as the spine. And then if you'd like, you could fold the palms in front of the chest or not, and repeat silently to yourself or out loud for that matter. May I be a boat, a raft, a bridge for all beings to cross the flood. May I be a resting place for the weary. May I be medicine for all who are sick. May I be a lamp in the darkness for those who are lost. And may I do so as long as earth and sky and galaxies exist, until all beings are enlightened. I vow to be here to serve them all. And then if your hands are folded in front of the chest, gently release the palms and allow your eyes to open. So we're going to start in just another cooling pose, Supta Baddha Konasana, because I always like to start with one Supta pose. And we will do Supta Virasana later, but with a different focus. So now, hi Anna, hi Lindsay. All right, so you're here in Supta Baddha Konasana. And again, I'm gonna say this one more time in terms of, if you don't want the neck roll, because this might help you when we do Viparita Dandasana later, interlace the hands behind the head, spread the skin at the occiput, lengthen away from the cervical, so the trapezius moves toward the waist, and then take the arms in this decentralized position, not overhead today, just, it's also very, as I said, it's cooling. This is a very cooling pose. Talk about cooling, because the legs are open, external rotation, you're pressing the feet, the arms are wide, you're opening the chest. Neck support if you need it, because if the chin is lifting up, that will alert the brain. So these are just good things to know, you know, we don't always do asana, obviously, for the physical structure. A lot of times asana, most of my practice now is more from a physiological and an emotional point of view, not physical. Press the feet, widen the thighs away. Take head support if you need it, making sure that your chin is not lifting. So you're not taking the chin into like if there's an orange and below your chin, you're not squeezing it. You're just let the sides of the throat become clear. In fact, you can take your fingertips to your throat and make sure that skin is relaxed. The back of the throat, that's it, relax. The collarbone skin spreading, the shoulders moving away from the ears. So adjust your head so that the bottom and top of the ears are running parallel to each other and parallel to the floor. These are all helpful techniques, as I said. So that breath that I was referring to, by the way, Brahmari, the bumblebee breath, it sounds like this. You don't have to do it. I'm just gonna, you can hear it. Odd sounding, and you hold it until you do that until you kind of imagine the bee. He starts in front of you, he, she, the bee, they, and go away, right? So you can hear the sound fading out. It's actually it's used a lot for insomnia, Brahmari breath. It's also, as I said, a cooling breath. It cools your nervous system, because you could hear that sound in the back of my throat. That's the sound of Ujjayi breath, stimulation of the vagus nerve, which has direct implication on the parasympathetic nervous system, the nervous system of calming and cooling and peace. You can remember it by parasympathetic, meaning peace. The other nervous system is obviously the sympathetic nervous system, which is one of arousal, and they're all part of the central nervous system. Okay, and just rest there, enjoy the breath. A little bit harder to feel the spine in Supta Baddha Konasana, but that's okay, because the next pose you will all feel it. So stay for a minute longer, because we have plenty of time. You might find that you can feel the exhalation a little bit longer, maybe at a 2-to-4 ratio or 4-to-6 ratio, as compared to the in-breath. Also very, you know, when the exhalation is longer than the inhalation, that's also very effective on deactivating the parasympathetic nervous system. And if you want references to what I'm talking about, I can suggest a book by Richard Brown, who's a professor at Columbia University, and it's called The Healing Art of the Breath. Now, when you're ready, gently place the feet flat on the floor, roll to your side. Okay, so we're going to spinize through, and we've done this many times. You'll make that nice long roll to accommodate your spine. Patricia, you've probably done this before. And then this is really nice, because not only will you be decentralized, but you're bringing or calling to attention that central vertebral column. So lie down when the legs are bent. That's the safest way on your back. And then extend one leg, or I should say, stay bent. Allow yourself to get steady because you're on a thick roll, not too thick, of course. And then extend one leg, then the other. I'm decentralizing a lot wider than hip width because, again, it's cooling. It's cooling. And this also makes sense as we come into the warmer months. Happy summer to everyone. Happy International Yoga Day to everyone. These are helpful to know, right? You want to cool yourself down. There's nothing like lying on the floor in this manner. Call out, which the blanket roll is doing. It calls out to your spine. So we're spinizing today. So my intention, at least for this class and probably Friday's class, is to do postures in such a way, at least in the beginning of the class, that we really begin to feel our spine and then take that feeling, have that memory of feeling the spine in sort of the beginning half of the poses, and then feel it in other poses where we do indeed, we always want to maximize the length of the spine so we don't grow shorter. All right, so just stay here, spinizing your body. So right now, think about it like you're tracing your spine. You're making an impression, both physically, physiologically, and your mental memory will call to mind this feeling of being on your spine as we go through the postures. That's good. Yes, you could flex the feet, harden through the heels. So the legs are quite active, that dorsiflexion of the feet. You can put them into plantar flexion as well, but the dorsiflexion should feel good. Opening up what I call the back of the heel hinge itself. Okay. Now, when you're ready, bend the knees, the very best way to come out, and roll to your side. Yeah. It's never any good for the back, but also for blood pressure if you get up suddenly, just as an aside note, okay? All right. Now, you're sitting in Virasana, unless it's not appropriate for your knees. Watch, I alluded to this earlier. I like to spend some time in Virasana, turning the inner knees to the outer knees, being on the tops of my feet. And then I'm going to, again, if it's appropriate, do Paschima Namaskar and feel your spine. You can palpate it. If it's not appropriate to do Paschima, and certainly if you have a shoulder issue, it may not be the right thing to do. I mean, the moving along is taking the arm at the level of the waist. So otherwise, you can just simply do Urdhva, obviously with the shoulder issue, arms out to the side. Then the moving along would be obviously arms overhead and do Urdhva Namaskar. And you can do it with movement, aiming to get equal pressure across the palms, okay? So I'm gonna give you some options here. So Beth, you're doing, okay, Paschima Namaskar for your shoulder. Okay, let me see, everyone else. Do Paschima, yeah. You can do, if you wanna do this first, Urdhva Namaskar, that's fine. I just showed you Paschima because I want you to feel your spine. That's good, Lindsay. All right. So again, it's really interesting, we can touch our spine from our back, right? You can also do Gomukhasana and feel your spine. These arm actions, I will say, are really important to do. That's a Gail. So remember, I just want to say this one thing, and then I won't belabor the point because it's one of my pet peeves. But when you take the arms into Paschima, don't start with the arms too far back. Just start like loosely drape the arms here, you see? Because the upper arm has to turn from the inside out, then track the hands up. That is probably, I learned that much later in my yoga career. It's probably the best instruction I've ever learned about this pose. You don't take the arms far back. Keep them loose at the sides of the waist, then take them in. And then when you're ready, recline back to Supta Virasana. Because if you take the arms back, you see how this already is doing the opposite. It should turn this way. Okay, here we go. So if you get one, this is like, that's the jewel. That's the jewel. Okay, and then go back to Supta Virasana, you're lying back. If you need an extra bolster, Nance, that's it. The bolster is vertical, head support pega, yeah. Remember, if your knees splay apart, good, get back, put the blanket there, yeah. Those of you have any issues with the knees, you can also do this straight leg. Lindsay, anyone can do straight leg and lie back. That's always an option. Take head support. Remember Supta Virasana. I hope you'll promise me that you'll do this pose once a week. Because I will tell you, if you don't do this pose once a week, it gets much, much harder. Much, much harder. Right, Lana? Yeah. Okay. Go back. And then, of course, as we typically do, arms overhead, no elbows, no elbows. Keep those joints firm. Really important as we age. Don't let the arms bend. And now Baddha Hasta. Those of you tighter in your upper back and armpits, Lubna, you can hold the wrists. Yeah, that's good. Now your elbow, that's really good. Elbows and shoulders even, Stephen. Okay, re-extend Urdhva Hastasana. Remember, aim for straight arms, straight arms. Even if you have to take the arms wider in like a Y, it's fine. Then whole wrist, forearms or upper arms. That's it, Nancy. Good. So this is really important. Okay, well done. Then release the arms and take it to the outer edges. Just know, Nancy, anyone who has a lot of height under them, and it's fine to have the height, sometimes the arms down by the side is uncomfortable. You could always put a block underneath your hand or build up the support of the arms. Or my quick fix is to just put the hands here on the upper chest. So, because if you're on a lot of height, like 2 or more bolsters, the arms feel strained, just dangling. It's, too much height. The perfect solution is to have a bolster, 2 bolsters, but that would mean like probably 6 bolsters. So that's not probably suitable for everyone. Okay, now to come up, put the hands in the arches of your feet, lead with your chest, give a good stretch to the legs, and we're going to give that good stretch to the legs. You can do Dandasana, but now we're going to do Adho Mukha Svanasana. If you're not doing dog pose, then do wide Prasarita Padottanasana, because this is what we're going to do. I'm going to just give you the heads up. We're going to take dog pose wide, hands to the outer edges, feet to the outer edges. So this is a decentralized position. And yes, your spine is lengthening, but you don't feel it as much as when you come into the classic way, hip width and shoulder width apart, which we'll do after that. And then I'm showing this because of Elaine, you're not doing this piece, so just know that we're doing this 3 times. And then feet together, hands together. Beth, if this bothers your shoulders, then don't do the hands together, you can do the feet together. So this is, we're doing dog pose 3 times, staying a minute in each way to build up timing. We're doing this so that you'll see with each time, each consecutive time, we're doing, you'll feel your spine. Okay, so here we go. And also to open the backs of the knees. Elaine, you can just stay in that duration, and also when the feet, then you'll do Uttanasana with hands on chair. So you're getting the same information, only in a different pose. All right, go wide with the hands. Those of you who need the blocks, it's perfectly fine to take it. Go wide with the feet to the outer edges of the mat. That makes it easier on the hamstrings. So you can see when you're in this very, very good, Nancy, wide dog pose, you don't have as much access to the spine. That's fine. This decentralized dog pose is very good for people who have tight shoulders, tight hamstrings. Stay there and just enjoy it. This wide You'll also feel a spreading in the abdomen. The same thing applies with you, Elaine. You'll feel the same thing. It's wide. Prasarita Padottanasana, like Upavishta Konasana, is a wide, symmetrical pose. Okay, now come down. And if you want to take the classic one, which I urge you to do, because we often don't do this, we come from it, we step back, or we come into all four. But now, why don't you come prone if you don't have a shoulder issue, and go like this. So you tuck your toes under. Now it's classical. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Feet are hip width apart. I push the floor away. And this is a way of getting upper body strength in. Of course, it's not appropriate if you have a shoulder issue. All right, so taking Adho Mukha Svanasana just for variation from a prone. You could do it that way, Beth, yeah. From up dog then to plank, or you'll see it almost intuitively, the body doesn't push up unless you're landing into dog pose, because it requires a kind of a pause in plank. All right, now you're hip width apart. Can you feel your spine? So more likely, it's not as decentralized, it's not as diffuse. So now coming in a little bit closer, see if you can be on your spine. Use your legs strongly. The roots of the thighs back, the outer shins in, elongate the spine at the sides of the navel. Lubna, yeah, make sure you're turning the palms out so that the shoulder blades go flat on the back and you're getting more length to your outer armpits. And sometimes, Lubna, I would get, try it also with holding sort of the seat of a chair, then you'll really get more opening in the armpits. All right, now come down. If it was appropriate, repeat prone, or actually not prone, you can't do it prone. You have to do from an all four position. And then it's appropriate for you to do with your hands together. If you don't have a shoulder issue, bring the feet together and go up. Now, the hard thing about this, the easy thing is you'll feel your spine, but this is the one movement which will be, you'll feel how your shoulder blades will come more forward to the wall that you're facing, but that's inherent. So when the hands are together, you have to really open the armpits more. Elaine, you can do plank. Patricia, are you okay? Okay, staying with it, yeah. So those of you of tight armpits, this is something to tighter. This is something to aspire to, right? But certainly it's there for the taking. Observe in taking the hands together if your shoulders have risen up to the ceiling. So one of the reasons we're staying about a minute in each one is that you want to build up your timing for upper body strength. So Lindsay V, now we're doing unless you have a shoulder issue, hands together, feet together. Hands together, feet together. Hands together, feet together. This very narrow Adho Mukha Svanasana. And again, it's there for the taking. It's good to practice this one once a week. Trying to get your time up to 4 to 5 minutes in dog pose, which is a way of building upper body strength. Okay, and now come down. All right, now, another way to feel the spine, certainly dog pose, making that comparison between wide, very wide, classic, and narrow, is in Shalabhasana. Shalabhasana is locust pose, it's on your belly. So, I don't want anyone to struggle with raising the legs, so you'll take a blanket, fold it, and what's on the blanket is not your pelvis, the roots of the thighs. The root of the thigh is the top of the thigh where the pelvis and the thigh meet. Okay, so watch. So we're going to do a very similar thing. I'm going to put the roots of my thighs on the blanket because I don't want anyone to struggle with raising the legs. Yeah, this will be easy for you because the pose comes easily to you without the blanket. All right, then we're going to do the classic position, lifting the legs. Those glutes are activated. Very important to work your glutes. Arms are going backward. And I'll just show you the whole thing so I don't have to break it up. So we'll go arms backward, palms facing or palms up, then arms out to the side. Okay, that decentralized position. So I call this a decentralized position. Then I'm going from the decentralized position turning my palms toward the wall to the Y, and then we'll see if we can bring them straight overhead. So we'll spend some time here. You'll see now that with each, we're not changing the leg position, but we're changing the arm position. With each arm position, it affects the spine in a different way, okay? So lie on your belly. Those of you who can do Shalabhasana without the blanket, I find it hard. I like to, unless you're working your glutes all the time. A lot of people will find this very tricky. Elaine, it looks like your blanket could be a little bit, it looks a little low to me, but maybe that's the pink. I'm seeing pink somewhere. Oh, I see what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Now, extend the feet in Virasana. That's plantar flexion. Extend the arms down by your side. Poker stiff elbows. Make those elbows firm. Just have the hands not touching the floor, adjacent to the sides of the thighs. Now raise the legs, raise the chest, raise the head, neck long. Try not to bend at the back of the neck. Look forward from the bridge of the nose. Gail, that's good. So the legs can be wider than hip width apart. Good. Lift the chest, and now come down. All right, if your palms were facing, take another one with palms up, or vice versa. If your palms were up, palms facing. The palms facing, you'll feel the back of the tricep more. Lift up, that's it, back. Reach back, arms straight. Demand no elbows, straight arms for the joints. And down you come. All right, now take the legs a little closer together, a little closer, hip width apart. All right, now take your arms backward first, just what we did. Set the shoulder blades flat on the back, and now take the arms out to the side. Kind of scoop up the air so the palms are facing head side. Scoop the air. Nancy, the other way. So the palm, no. Yeah, so the palms are starting facing, and then you kind of scoop the air, like you're scooping the air. Scoop the air. That's it. That's it. So arms are out to the side. Okay, and down you come. Now we're going to go from the backward to the wide position. You can pause at the widest point if you want to think of it as a T. Okay, so start with the arms backward, palms facing. Now turn the palms so they're facing head side. Yes. And now take it to a wide, yeah, a little bit more forward, Beth, a little bit more forward, Lubna. Yeah, a wide. That's it. That's good. Now stay there. If it bothers your neck and if the trapezius is tight, it will. Then of course, return the arms to backward and you won't get that hunching up, right? So these are principles that, I've tried to teach for so many years. Okay, and down you come. All right, so I just want to say one thing. All right, so if you find that when you took your arms in this manner, right, overhead, and it caused a problem with your neck because the trapezius was lifting, then again, return the arms down to the side. That's a definite, the arms overhead is a moving along action. All right, now we're going to start with the feet together. All right, we'll do the same thing. The feet together. We're staying with the Y. I don't care if we even take the arms straight in line with the ears because that's not really that important. All right, so now start with the classical position. Raise the legs, raise the chest, reach, arms straight. Now scoop up the energy, palms facing forward, go to the Y. Find your spine. Yeah, so the arms are they're not beside your ears, but maybe 6 inches away. Okay, and down you come. All right, we're going to do one more like that. Maybe Friday we'll move on with this. All right, one more, feet together. If your feet don't stay together, you can put a belt around your feet versus your ankles or shins. It works really well with your around the tops of the feet. Okay, now one more time. For strengthen the glutes, strengthen the triceps, elongate your spine. So they're backward arms, then they're out to the side. Scoop the air with your fingers and take the arms to a Y. That's it, Beth, palms facing each other, but 6 inches from your ears. And now take a well-deserved rest. Rest your head, forehead, on your cupped hands, just rest. Feet can go apart now in this resting position. So Shalabhasana is a pose that most people tend not to do, but it's a worthwhile posture to do for your spine, for your triceps, and certainly for your glute muscles. Okay, get a belt, everyone. And we're doing Supta Padangusthasana 1, 2 ways. So again, let me show you what we're doing just to, I want to remind you of what our intentionality is here, is to do the yoga poses today in such a way that it brings forth the ability to feel the spine, but also obviously to lengthen the spine. So that's our work. And we could make a million sequences doing that. All right, so the first time we do Supta 1, the classical way, I'm holding the belt, start at 90, and then I move the leg, all right? So my arms are straight, my shoulders are on the floor, legs are straight, no knees, no elbows. All right, then the next time we'll do it. We'll do right side, left side, then we'll go back to the right side. And then this time we'll put the belt on, but we're taking the upper arms, the elbows to the floor. And what this allows me to do is with my upper arm, I can kick my thoracic spine in. So the area that we addressed in Paschima Namaskar is now being kicked in away from the floor in Supta 1, okay? All right, so here we go, Supta Padangusthasana 1. Again, a gazillion different ways to do it. All right, so you can take Dvipada for symmetry, and then Ekapada right leg in, flex through the foot, harden the heel. Okay, and then put the belt on the arch of the foot or the back of the heel and take the leg to 9. So now we want those poker stiff joints. Right leg is straight, left leg is straight, both arms straight, shoulders are on the floor. And just rest there. Relax your throat and your eyes and just stay with it for about 2 minutes, which is roughly the timing. Remember, Patricia, see if you can really straighten the arms. Turn the arms from the inside out. That's it. Yeah, choke down on the, get those arms long and lean, right? Turn the arms. You got to turn that inner upper arm skin. Make sure you're turning the inner upper arm skin from the inside out, not that unhealthy action I alluded to in Paschima Namaskar. It's really important. Plug the humerus back into the glenohumeral joint. It's a small joint, the shoulder socket, so you have to take good care of it. Unlike the hip socket, which is a ball, this is a ball and socket joint, but it's a small one. And the knee, of course, is completely different. It's a hinge joint, not a ball and socket joint. So it behaves rather differently because of all the moves that the knee does. The hinging is different, and the ball and socket also offers a variety of movements. Really different than the neck. Keep the arms straight. We're not attempting to raise the head or the chest. We just want straight arms, straight limbs. Stay for another 30 seconds. So I think let's not go to the left side so you can make, this way you can make a distinct distinction now as you take the elbows and upper arms to the floor and use the upper arms, press the arms into the floor, kick the dorsal spine in. Remember the fingers behind your back. So oftentimes I've heard my own teachers say, don't sleep on the spine in Supta Padangusthasana 1, because we tend to collapse in the upper chest. Kick the dorsal spine in, but see if you can do this. And this is the hard part is not kicking the dorsal in. The hard part is, can you kick the dorsal in without bulging your eyes out of your head and without hardening the throat? So remember that feeling when you had your hands, your fingertips palpating on your throat. Keep that softness there. So we're directing the mind to what I call obstacles on the path. We point out the obstacles on the way so that you don't fall into the ditch. Good. So now you're doing Supta Panisthasana 1, as I like to say, for and from the spine. You're spinizing yourself. So you're making that impression in your mind and in your body of the spine. Okay, and now Dvipada for symmetry, knees into chest, flex through the feet. Ekapada, left leg in. Yeah. Leg up. Start at 90 and then move. Good. If this side is a little bit less easeful, just note it. It may not go as far, it's fine. Remember, do Supta 1 in this iteration as though you had a traction belt on. Winnie, see if you can extend, my friend, more through your inner left knee to your inner heel so that the back of the left knee is open. Yeah, that's good. Open the back of the knee. No knees, no elbows. Arms turn, keep turning those arms. Really important. When you turn the arms, feel how the humerus, the upper arm bone, draws back into the socket. And then take the elbows down. I hope we didn't shortchange the left. The poor left side. Yes. Kick the dorsal in, but do relax the eyes, the throat, the tongue. Knowing that, when we take the arms down and kick the dorsal in, we tend to clench our throat and our neck muscles. Remember, as we stay, we lose the attention. So put your attention now on the upper left knee, press it back, simultaneously extend from the inner knee to the inner heel so that the back of the left knee really opens and the right thigh presses down. We're good. All right. Good, Mary Beth. Excellent. All right. Now we're doing Supta 3 or Ekapada Jethara Parvatasana because we are doing Parvatasana. We haven't done it at Jethara. We haven't done it in a while, but it's appropriate for this theme. So I'm going to show you from this view. Movement in others. Anyone has a groin issue, get another belt and pull that away. Or if you have a long arm, you can wedge it between your inner thighs. Take the leg out to the side. Some of you, especially Elaine, on your left side, if you have a tight left hip, you can opt, because these are some things I've taught for many years. The classic pose is obviously the leg straight. And notice how this leg has transcended. It's not below my hip. It has to be at least in line with the hip, if not higher. And of course, this left arm is straight. So one of the things you can do is you can bend the leg and then extend through the core of the heel, or you could just keep it straight. If you're very tight in your external lateral rotators, it's super helpful to abandon keeping the leg straight and try bending it, okay? Which is not the classic pose, but it's really wise to do that. Okay, so here we go. Some of you have tightened your hips. It'll be helpful to bend the leg. But make no mistake, the final pose is straight legs. Okay, here we go. You can show it. Yeah. Luna, take the belt and pull it. Yeah. All right, here we go. To hold the belt with your left hand, remember that, good, Nancy. Keep the left arm straight, poker stiff. I really want to insist on those joints, the arms being straight today. We just get in bad habits of bending, the arms more. I really want to keep the arms straight, even more diligent about that than say if the legs can straighten because of hamstrings in a pose like Uttanasana. Okay. Now, if you need to, if that outer right hip is tight, then by all means bend it. But then again, observe when your leg is bent, how now the upper right thigh is closer to your chest, and then extend through the core of the heel. And you can do it with movement. Good, Nancy, as I showed. I'm doing it right now without a belt. It's wonderful. It's a great outer hip stretch.
Just, don't always have to do it with the belt. All right. Remember, resist. For those of you who have any groin issues, either if you're experiencing pain, either don't do it but definitely use a belt if you're going to do it. Okay, change sides when you're ready. So look, it could be done, look guys, without the belt too, just to give you some creative ways to do it. So this is more abdominal. I'm taking the leg to 90. I cross it and I can really feel my abdomen much more. So it's just a way of doing it with a different awareness. Okay, call attention to your spine. You're turning your abdomen. That's it. Turn, turn, turn. Keep that. So now you're holding the belt with the right arm. Keep it straight. Especially when the leg is straight. It might be a little bit harder when you bend the leg to keep the arm straight. That's it. Bend it, Gail. Yeah, let's see. Notice how the upper thigh is higher up. Bend straight. Bend straight. Your left hip is tight. This is a good stretch. Good. These are good. All right. A few more in that manner. You can keep it straight or go bend to straight. You can, at some point, maybe this week, try it without the belt. All right, now I'm going to show something a little bit newer, just something I work with in terms of my abdomen. So watch, but bringing it to light in one of my favorite poses, UPP, or Prasarada Padasana. So watch, we're going back to, we'll do this pose, knees in, legs up, 90, which was difficult to find after Supta 1 because many of you bet will be beyond 90, right? So now your intention has to be 90 degrees. All right, we'll stay about 2 minutes and work on our abdomen, then watch. See, the best way to show this will be, I think, frontally. I hope you can see this. I certainly can feel it. So I'm going back to UPP and then watch. I'm going to pike up and shift to the right, pike up and shift to the left, pike up, shift, pike up, shift, pike up, shift. So what I've done with this is we do that on the way to Jethara Parvatasana. But then I'm thinking, why don't we just do that? Because that's really great for your abdomen and it's fun. So it's like, okay, after been practicing for 40 some odd years, you have to find new ways of doing things. Otherwise, you're going to be bored to tears. Okay. So that piking up and the shifting is super fun. And it reminds me of like when we were young, we used to have batons and, with our hands, we used to go like that. The movement on the floor is like a figure 8. Did you see that? Did you see a figure 8? This is a figure 8. But it reminds me of like twirling the baton. Okay, you do now. Have fun. Enjoy it. New movement. Pike and shift. That's it, Peggy. Pike and shift. Note, and I didn't say this, but you saw it. Note how the legs will shift forward and go opposite side. Pike up and shift. Pike up. That's a Lindsay thing. Pike up. See if you can get quite a lot of height. Good, Beth. The legs will come forward. Know that. It's fun. Pike up. That's it, a leg. Pike up, leg straight. Pike up, leg straight, and shift. Pike up. Imagine you're drawing a figure 8 with your buttocks. Good, Peggy, on the floor. At least from, those of you who have your behind literally to me, that's what it looks like, a figure 8 on the floor. Then take the knees into the chest. I hope you had fun. Okay, now we go back to the classic way of doing Jethara, and that certainly will have helped. So anyone who has a back issue will do Jethara with bent legs. Otherwise, you're doing straight legs. I'm going to shift a little bit to the left. I did that pike shift and swing my legs to the right. And then I'll shift and pike up to the right. I aim to keep my legs poker stiff. I also aim to get my legs as high up. So it takes me a while to get my feet to the level of my hand. So I want you to explore. Do this consecutively, right side, left side, right side, left, aiming, not the first try. You won't get it, I don't think. You could, of course, to get the hands high to the palm of your hand. So extend the arms out, level with the shoulders, turn the palms up. All right, so if each consecutive time, say you're doing 6, you're aiming to get the hands above your hand, aiming to get the feet above your hand. Okay, shift and pike, pike and shift, I should say. That's good, Lana. That's it. Keep the legs straight, Lubna, if you can. Remember, anyone who has a back issue, you're keeping the legs bent. Or you can even do it the feet on the wall, or you can do an interim iteration bent to straight. See if you can do at least 6. I think that's not asking too much. Right, left, shift, piking and shifting. Beth, that almost too much of a shift, right? So the so the shift, you know, to the degree, remember the shift adjustment is such that, Beth, you don't lose the central line of your spine. That's why I chose this posture. We're shifting, yes, getting the abdominal work in. These look good. Shift, okay. And then if you've done 6, but you probably could have done more, take the knees into the chest. Just know that. All right, take the knees in. That pike and shift will serve you rather well. All right, now here where we pose the question. We're going to come back to dog pose. You can opt to do it classically, feet hip width apart, hands shoulder width apart, or the narrow iteration if it's appropriate for your shoulders. So I want to just go back to this Spinize position. Lubna, so here what I'm saying is, if you want to do the narrow, put your hands on this, like adjacent blocks. This will help you open up the armpits. Like this, and turn the palms out, you see? And go up, because we have to get rid of that angle between, you can see it in mine, even in the narrow position, there's a slight angle between my upper chest and my upper arm. All right, now I would show this to me if I were you in profile, because I'm looking right now at that armpit. Let's see. All right, up you go. Elaine, I would repeat Supta 1 to Spinize to get the, because right now we're using this because I want you to memorize your spine as we come into revolved triangle, revolved half moon and half moon. Yeah. See if you can extinguish the angle between your upper arm and your upper chest. Nancy, that's good. Turning the palms out. Beth, that's really good. Arms are, your armpits, have the intentionality. Good. Mary Beth, Gail, yeah. Have the intentionality of making your armpits thin and long. Okay, and down you come. Just take a rest. Child's pose. And actually do child's pose for the spine. So take the arms backward, the way I'm doing, and bring the thumbs together. This is so this iteration can really feel my spine, but let me show you from behind, because this is rarely done. I'm reaching my arms backward like you did in Shalabhasana, and then I'm taking, I'm not going to hook my thumbs. That's easy. I'm just going to lightly graze my thumbnails. Okay, show me from behind, I'll see it. Arms backward like Shalabhasana. Lubna, take them, many of you are, maybe I showed this, the arms are too high up in line, Beth, with the hip. And then draw them near each other. You're going to feel that tricep working a lot. Bring them together, meaning let the thumbs touch each other. But if the get the thumbnails to touch, but not at the expense of bending the arms. If you're bending, okay, I know this is hard for many of you. Okay, I'm going to just explore this now. I'm going to just take a slight detour. All right, take a bell, make a loop, because I know that's hard. That is hard to do. Touch the thumbnails. How many of you found that hard? It looked from what I saw on the screen. Okay, that's why I'm taking a detour. Okay, so now I'm making a little wristlet. Voila. So now I'm going to give myself half a chance, right? I'll put my hands in it. All right, and do it this way. And then at some point you can move the hands away from the wristlet and the thumbs touch, okay? But you know, listen, it's good enough just to take the wristlet on. That's pretty close. So some of you might have a 3-inch wristlet. Some of you could have a 6-inch or 8-inch wristlet. The wider, right?
Yeah, that's fine, Lindsay. If you need to go wider, go wider. Also, a dowel is helpful as sort of a moving on. Good, good. Okay, these are better. Elaine, you can lower the arms a smidge. Yeah, so there, you're not lifting, the idea is not, yeah, just, we want the arms straight and you're making that spine. You're really coming onto your spine. You can see the whole theme today has been when we move the arms from decentralized or legs from decentralized to centralized, we feel our central vertebral column. Okay, now with that memory, we're going to do half moon and revolved half moon. Will make it easy so you can feel the spine, because no point doing free, I mean, you can do a freestanding, but most people will find that they can focus on something when they don't have to struggle at all with balance. So let me just show you how we're going to do this, because we're going to come into it a little bit differently. Let me get this. All right, so that's going to be my wall, taking a break. All right, so watch. So I have the intentionality of doing half moon at the wall and revolved half moon. Now, I will say that Iyengar has always said and written that revolved half moon is the pose that maximizes the length of the spine the most, okay? So with that said, that's one of the reasons we're doing it. So watch. The first thing, I'm going to take half moon, all right? So this is Ardha Chandrasana to my right. Then I'm staying on my right. Now watch carefully. I'm flip-flopping my arms. So here's my right hand, I'm on my right leg. All I'm going to do, and the block is about 9 inches in front of my toes. I swap my arms. So now look, I'm placing my left hand. Lubna, you know this. It's called an anterior facing revolved triangle. I'm dropping my left hand onto my block. It'll be hard to keep that back leg ascending, and then I'm taking the arm at the wall. If you have a shoulder issue, particularly on the, the right arm that's going up at the wall, then just keep the arm beside your hip. It's hard on the shoulder to do what I just did, taking the arm at the wall. Okay, so have enough distance. I'd say you could see that my right hip, let me just tell you, was about 4 inches from the wall. I'm not putting my right hip on the wall, okay? So again, I step out to half moon, wait, 30 seconds there, get length to your spine. All right, let's see these. Winnie, yes, the block, have the right hand in line with the shoulder. Remember, I want you to lift your inner left thigh up, Nance, a little bit more, good, Lana. Enjoy Ardha Chandrasana. Now, all you have to do, Beth, for you, the block is a little high. And I'm not surprised. Yeah, that's better. Because the right side of the, much better. Now that's even, Stephen, with the floor. Now, flip-flop the arms. That's it, Mary Beth. Right, abduct the hips. Don't let the back leg, the left leg, fly into the center of the room. Lift from the median line, and this is another good instruction. The median line of your back leg should be parallel to the floor. Beth, a smidge too high. If you need to come out, do so. Gail, that's good. All right, now gracefully come out. If you want to go back to half moon, I like to go back to half moon because it gets space in the abdomen. Okay, we're doing it again. Not right side, we're going to go to the left. All right, let's see this again. So let's do this, guys. On the left side, go to half moon to the left. Revolved half moon to the left. Now, of course, your left side will be to the wall. And then come back to half moon because it's good for the organic body. Okay, Gail, that's good. Half moon. All right, to the left. Lubna, yeah. Lift the inner right thigh. Imagine I'm in your room, hoisting your inner right thigh up. Good. Well, that's excellent. All right, now flip-flop the arms. That's the way to come into what we call an anterior facing half moon. That revolved half moon. Beth, that's good. The block, yeah, that really worked. Hug the wall. It's like you're hugging the wall. Good, Mary Beth. Yeah, you have to adduct because otherwise the back right leg will fly out. Now flip-flop the arms again. Yeah, Nancy, take your time. Flip-flop the arms so you're coming back to the organic body to half moon. Well done. All right, now Having felt all that length, especially in revolved half moon, can you do Utkatasana? So different, Utkatasana symmetrical, Ardha Chandrasana asymmetrical. So now bringing the length to what you gleaned in those two poses, Utkatasana. Those who can bring the palms together, do so, okay? Utkatasana. Everyone's favorite pose. Bend at your hips, shins back, look forward, not down. Winnie, good. See if the arms, if their arms are not beside your ears, go to that wide position. Good, Elaine. Lubna, sit down just a smidge more, otherwise really good. Honor, excellent. This is good. All right, and now come up. One more, Mary Beth. This time, see if you can keep the trunk a smidge more upright. Now I'm being picky, but just a smidge more because you're almost too low with the chest. Okay, so use the arms strongly. A down might help, Mary Beth, or putting a strap between your hands, right? That helps. That's good, Lindsay V. Watch the inner heels. Don't let them collide. Feet can be together, which is where we're going, because we never do it the feet together. And then up you come. Okay, those look good. All right, one more time. Now, again, if it's appropriate, and it may not be. So if anyone has tight armpits, then don't take the hands together. But I think you all can take the feet together, unless you have a bunion issue, then of course the feet together doesn't work. All right, so we'll start, if you can, with the arms in Urdhva Namaskar, and then come into our Utkatasana. So feet together, and this one, you cannot not feel the spine. So, all right, here we go. Spread the feet, lift the arches. All right, now bending out, you take the arms up to Urdhva Namaskar if it's appropriate for you. And now go down. Use the arms to go up. That's it, Winnie. Abdomen back. Good, Patricia. Abdomen back. Patricia, move the buttock flesh a little more to the backs of the knees. Beth, you can go down a smidge more. Good, Gail. Use your arms. And then inhale. Well done. Up you come. All right, now let's do this. So again, we have this memory of the spine, and we're using it for different poses. So like we did Friday, I'm going to have you, because it's a little more easeful and restful, to do Virabhadrasana 1. Those of you who are taller can put a blanket on the seat of the chair. So we're coming into Warrior 1. The back left toes, we did this Friday. Remember, I told you to turn the thigh from the inside out. The arms are out to the side. And then again, palms, if you can, together. If you want to do it, so you can see I'm incorporating so much of what we've done the past 2 years, so much. So we're on the seat of the chair to make it restful. Arms are decentralized to the centralized Urdhva Namaskar. Now, the hard part about this is keeping the leg, the back leg straight. So be on the toes tucked under. If those of you find it hard, to be with the back leg, then putting a sneaker on will help. Okay, here we go. Sit in the chair, right leg's in front, left leg's back. Okay, charge the back knee, meaning lift the knee into the knee. That's it, Lubna. So look, you can glance at yourself on the screen, see that your back leg is straight. Now, bring the left hip more around. You have to turn right. The left hip has to come more around. Sometimes I know with the chair, depth of the chair, it gets in the way for some bodies, particularly. Yeah, that's good, Patricia. Now take the arms out to the side. So the front leg is in the chair and the back leg is your left leg, and you're reaching up. That's it. Now, those of you who can, bring the palms together if it's appropriate. Otherwise, out to the side or align with the ears. That's good, Lana. Good. Reach up through the fingernails. There's a lot of nice length coming to the armpits, Lubna. It's interesting when it's not weight bearing. Okay, now come out, change sides. And you can even do, what's nice to do? Do between the two sides a chair Bharadvajasana. Why not? Chair Bharadvajasana.
Of course, the wonderful thing, if we had, many hours, is I would lengthen your spines and then twist. That's the very best way to do twists. The seated twist coming after lengthening spine. Okay, now left leg in front, beyond the ball of the back right foot. Use your right hand to turn the inner upper thigh. Yes, bring the right hip forth. Yes, bring the right hip around. Then charge through the back leg. Then take the arms out, find the shoulder blades. Then if appropriate, reach up through the fingertips. Good, Winnie. Don't let the shoulder blades come off the back. Find your spine without hardening your eyes or your throat. Well done. Arms down. Chair Bharavajasana, right side, left side. Okay. All right, now we're going to do warrior 3 in a way that you can feel your spine and maximize the length. And it's not coming into it the classical way, because most people find this pose very challenging and they can't stay long enough to feel their spine. So watch. So you need to have the chair not on the mat, because the chair has to slide away. So watch what we're going to do. We've done this before. Okay, so this is the back of the chair. So I'm going to basically stand in Samastiti. I'm going to hold the side rungs of the chair. And then I'm going to slide the chair away from me and make the body parallel to the floor. Now, because I have a chair, I can stay in the pose and focus on maximizing the length to the spine, okay? So this is moving past modified warrior 3 with the hands down on the blocks. Although make no mistake, if anyone's getting tired, then do it this way, right? Watch. So so that you understand the sequencing of it. And if you're getting tired, then simply just take the arms up, arms down, hands directly underneath you, and lift your right or left leg up. It doesn't matter which side, all right? All right, so adjust so that your chair will slide away. So you'll have the chair close in pretty much, in line with your shoulders. All right, and then you're sliding the chair away, all right, as you stand on your right or left leg. Now, good. Now, once you're there, lift the abdomen away from the floor, like you did earlier. Lift the root of your aerial leg up, and now make your body parallel to the floor. Good, Peggy. Shoulder blades moving away from the ceiling. Winnie, slightly shift the weight back because you're coming more into your right leg, the toes. So keep the buttock aligned with the heel. Okay, now step out and change sides. So the purpose of doing it with the chair is to feel that length in the spine that you're getting because the chair is making you long. Okay, here we go. Other side. You can have the chair. You can even do it with holding the seat of the chair. All right, let's see, Galia. Spine long, armpits thick. Lubna, that's a good way to do it from the transition. Nancy, good. Lift the root of the back thigh up. A little more lift of the back leg, Winnie, so that it's parallel. Good, Peggy. These look good. Lindsay V, good. If you have the heel on the wall, that's even better. You're able to keep the legs straight. Okay, and down you come. Okay, now let's do this. I'm going to give you some choices here. We're going to do up dog, and then we'll see how we do with that, and then go to Viparita Dandasana. So take your blocks. Everyone will have blocks. Palms can be turned out. And we're going to come into dog pose. And then I want to bring my feet together to feel my spine, get that memory. Then take the feet apart, come onto the balls of the feet, and then up dog, and then on the tops of the feet and up dog, okay? All right, so 2 high quality Down dogs, those of you who need the chair, then obviously do the chair. And I think I taught that the other day on the chair. It's perfectly fine to use a chair, especially for anyone who's struggling with wrist issues or who can't get the chest perpendicular. Okay, so you're taking the narrow dog to get that memory of the spine. Then you'll take the feet apart, come on the balls of the feet, and come into up dog with chair or on blocks. Now, up dog is a little bit harder, a little bit easier with the chair to feel the length, but see if you can create that length in your spine that you felt in Warrior 3. Now go back to dog. Remember, the legs are straight in up dog. Now come on to the tops of the feet as we've been in Virasana. Yes, keep your spine long and look up. Look up from the eyes of the chest. Okay, and out you come, just lie prone, cup your palms, make a little pillow and rest. Decentralize the legs, turning the toes in and the heels out. All right. Now, some of you can go back and do up dog if you want to. Others of you are going to do Viparita Dandasana on the chair. So I'm taking the chair. I'm going to do it not freestanding. I prefer to do it at the wall. And most of you know the number of blankets you need. I'm just using one today. I sit in the chair. I take my hands to the back rest to get length to the spine. I'm going to take my hands back here, again in Paschima, to feel the spine. I have that memory of Supta Virasana, reclining backward. And then I'm going to recline backward, take my hands to the joint of the chair, coil the spine in and up, and then extend one leg, and then the other to the wall. And then for those who can, you can consider taking the arms overhead. Okay, that's a moving along. So we've come full circle, winding up in V. Now, I will say, anyone with a neck issue, remember what I said, once you're back there, then take the hands to the back of the skull and spread the skin. If it's bothering anyone, if you get nauseous, go back to up dog with the chair. So those of you who don't want to do what I just showed, perfectly acceptable to do up dog in this manner. Oh, feels good on the chair. All right. Up dog with the chair or Viparita Dandasana on the chair. For those of you who are tired, maybe well, I shouldn't say, Viparita Dandasana can be relaxing, but if you feel nauseous or have a headache, I would not do, because actually it can cause nausea or headache. So Lindsay V, be careful, my friend. Do chair Bharadvajasana. Was it in the chair then? Okay, let's see, Lubna, legs straight, Lana. Some of you might need more height. I wish we had time to go over, how much height you need. Kick the dorsal spine in. That's good, Mary Beth. Really good. The shape is really, really good. Good, Gail. Shape is really good. Lubna, that's a good, the height looks, the amount of blankets you took has been good. And I really should go over that at some point. Patricia, I would tweak your blankets a smidge. I feel like they're not right. It looks like let me see. I feel like you need a little more support in the upper spine, Patricia. All right, now to come out, bend the knees, lead with your chest. I'll go over that at some point with you individually. All right, and out you come. All right, now, as we kind of wind down from this sequence, I want you to do something that creates space, because you can see, if you just sit down for a moment, actually, if you do, I was just reading an article on how squatting is the pose of longevity. If you can squat on your haunches, it's really good. If you can squat, squat. If you can't squat, then just kneel. All right, so squat on your haunches for a moment. So all those poses made us quite narrow.
in order that we can feel our spine, in order so we could maximize the length of it. Okay, so now we're going to do something opposite that as we kind of approach the conclusion of the class. So one of the poses that I alluded to earlier that brings maximal space besides Supta Padangusthasana, besides Supta Baddha Konasana, is Supta Padangusthasana 2. But before we do 2, let's all just sit and do Upavishta Konasana. Lindsay, okay. All right. So now feel that, so different, so, it has such a different effect, right? Just bring your attention, especially to this part of your face, your eyes, and see if when you just sat in Upavishta Konasana, having done up dog and having done Viparita Dandasana, how the mind, how the skin across the forehead feels really broad. So you can see the asanas have a dramatic effect on your physicality, on your physiology, and on your emotional sheet. Now, of course, there are certain conditions that I suspect no matter how much yoga one does, still, maybe you need some extra help, right? And that's fine. I'm saying that to myself. Okay. Now, what I want you to do is Supta 2, take your bell. All right. And watch, I'm showing you it this way. I'm decentralizing my left leg, so I can enjoy that organic roominess. Lana, I will always remember you from COVID with this pose. Forever. Anytime I do this pose, I think of Lana. All right, Supta 2. Here we go. Decentralize the left leg. And really enjoy the freedom in the body, because after you've done those narrow shapes, and this is why I love to do this one after, I can really feel, oh, this is the antidote. This is the opposite. Not to say that, the narrowness is good. It serves a purpose, but now we're coming out. We'll do Shavasana, of course. So enjoy this, what I call roominess in your mind, roominess in your body. And that's the kind of space that you're trying to create mentally, that quality of not holding so tightly. It feels like you want to loosen the grip. Can you loosen the grip? Loosen the grip. Loosen your grip. The grip of your mind, the grip of your body, and enjoy Supta 2. You can do it the other side. If you find that holding it 2 minutes on one side is too long, then spend a minute, change sides, and go back. Just enjoy that quality of roominess, space. The quality of loosening, like you turn a jar handle, and if you turn too tightly, things close down. Can you loosen the grip? Dial it back. Dial it back. The other poses that give dramatic space is, of course, aside from Upavishta Konasana and Supta Padangusthasana 2, is Viparita Karani. Viparita Karani is poses of a lot of roominess in the body. And then once you've done Supta 2 for about 2 minutes on each side, then you're going to come into a flat Supta Baddha Konasana, which we started the class, but on support. Now you're going to do it flat. Good. Yes. If you want to feel a little extra roominess in your lower abdomen, put your feet on a bolster. You'll feel, let's stay with it, Luna. Yeah.
Okay, good. Feet can go on a bolster, which feels particularly good, that quality of roominess. Yeah, and put the bolster sort of like this here, like, so you're doing this. And then I like to push my pelvic floor right up close to that edge of the bolster. Yeah, and then if it causes the knees to drift very high, then you can support your outer upper thighs. Again, just enjoy the roominess of the body as that antidote to all those narrow shapes that we created. Now, mind you, don't interpret this class to mean that the only time you can maximize the length of the spine is when the poses are narrow, because that's not the intention. The intention was to create the narrow shape so that you could feel the spine and maximize it in the classic shape. So I just wanted to make that perfectly clear. Now, I'm going to give this as an option for those who want to do it as a transition to Shavasana. Some can go straight into Shavasana. It's interesting to do Paschimottanasana, having done that. I'll just put on my sweatshirt. I put it at the lower spine because it gives me a little bit of roominess in my abdomen. And now can you use all those poses as a platform now? And can you create the maximal length in your spine in Paschimottanasana, which is challenging, especially not for you so much, Dad, because you're a forward bender. You can also, if you want to get the feeling of it, you can sit on a chair and reach out to a wall, or even reach out to the seat of the chair to get length in the spine, which will help. Because here's the principle of Warrior 3, right? I'm using the chair seat now. Look, sliding the chair away, all right? I'm going to try with the chair, I think could help. You see, because look, Nancy's, yeah, so you're here, and then that same principle. Now, my arms are like, 12 inches long, all right? So look, and then watch this length here, right here, upper chest and outer armpit. Long, long, long. It's a little high, Lubna. Take the hands down to the rungs. Go, yeah, like here, middle rung, because I don't want the shoulders to lift up. And now go. That's it. So remember, in the final Paschimottanasana, the arms are actually not bent, they're straight. Those of you who want to transition, and now Nancy, you could easily come into your Shavasana with the lower legs on the seat of the chair. Well, you have with the bolster, that's fine. Those of you who can stay in Paschimottanasana as though it was Shavasana, stay a little bit longer. So if you're struggling with Paschimottanasana, then abandon it, go to Shavasana with the lower legs on the seat of the chair. But you will find that as you practice this forward bend, that you'll be able to stay with that easefulness. So this is a posture of rest. But I know it's challenging because of tight hamstrings, tight upper back, tight lower back. And then you'll switch over to our final pose, Shavasana, with the lower legs on the seat of the chair. I will say, because we were talking about cooling poses, the full forward bend of the west side of the body, the back side of the body, which is Paschimottanasana, is one of the most cooling poses you can do. But it's not going to be cooling if you're struggling. Nothing's cooling if you're struggling with it. Okay, so now take your time to come into your Shavasana. And think of Shavasana today not just as relaxation of the physical body, but one of balancing the body and the mind. So we're cultivating balance and equanimity. Not too hard, not too soft, just right.
There's that delicate balance. The middle path. Because so much of what we did was we went to the extreme in each condition and then found that middle ground. Which those of you who know the story of the Buddha, that's exactly what he did. He was born of great wealth, prince, the royal family, and then he followed the path of renunciation, asceticism, and then found the middle path. Which led him to eventually enlightenment. And allow yourselves, most of you have very busy lives, busy with work, etc. See if you can find balance now. Find that quality of easefulness, no struggle. Setting aside your work, all the things you need to do for your family, putting them aside for now. So I'm glad we finished a little earlier. Some of you I didn't get a chance to talk to on Friday. We're here now. And if you have any questions about the sequence or anything else for that matter, we can address it in the few minutes that we have remaining. So let me stop the recording.